Welcome to Social Town. In this video, we are going to learn about 8 tips on how to cope with depression. Depression is a severe yet treatable disorder that can affect what you feel, do, and think. A person who is depressed has a pessimistic perception and no longer likes the things he does. This person becomes reluctant to do a job even if he is capable of it and feels too tired. By looking at these signs and other psychiatric conditions, we can conclude that depression is not a psychological condition that we can tolerate. There is a difference between feeling sad and depressed. Depression is more than just feeling sad. This has to be well distinguished because someone who feels down at some times of the day assumes they are depressed. Depression has certain symptoms. These are lack of enjoyment in everyday work, not feeling the urge to talk, prolonged sleep or insomnia, guilt, suicidal inclination, lack of appetite or excessive appetite, and loss of concentration. The persistence of these symptoms for a certain amount of time requires a depression diagnosis. To deal with depression, professional help should be received. In this video, we will examine 8 ways to help you with coping with depression along with therapy. Tip number 7 and 8 are very crucial. Make sure you watch till the end. Please consider subscribing to our channel for more inspirational videos covering self-improvement, wellness, and more. Number 1. Live your life based on a schedule. Depressed individuals generally think they have nothing to do. This situation becomes clear when you try to get up in the morning. Many therapists have also said, based on their interactions with depressed patients, particularly in the morning hours, the patients feel even worse. To overcome this situation, what you need to do is to plan your next day before going to bed. This should be a detailed plan, not just what you'll do, but it should include details like hours and the individuals who will accompany you. You should be careful not to repeat the same things and not keep your tasks too long, which can be distracting. You should pay attention to doing different things while making this schedule. Number 2, exercise. Every day, exercising on that same schedule will help to eliminate the chemical dimension of depression. Endorphin deficiency and cortisol rise are some causes that induce depression. Sport is the most significant element that decides the lack or abundance of these hormones for your benefit. Of course, doing sports alone is not enough. The way you keep busy your mind while doing sports is as important as doing sports itself. If you keep repeating pessimistic thoughts in your head, your sport can only work on your muscles. Keep your mind busy while exercising. If you're out for a walk, use different routes. Take a camera with you and immortalize the natural beauty you see. In short, do exercises that you'll like and also involve those you love in this exercise if you can. You're also going to get rid of the sense of loneliness in this way. With time, you will find that you feel much stronger mentally and that your everyday life is going back to normal. Number 3, try to avoid negative thoughts as much as possible. This tip is also very crucial, like tips 7 and 8. First, if you're going to deal with depression, learn how to control your mind. So what does it mean? Our mind usually eliminates pessimistic feelings. It wants to contribute positively to the flow of life through positive thoughts. For someone who is depressed, this is no longer valid. Someone who looks at the negative side of life and lacks faith in oneself will collapse even further. If the situation gets worse, controlling your mind becomes almost impossible. So this should be the first thing that a depressed person needs to realize. Take a snapshot of your mind and pay attention to where you're going to put yourself. If you associate yourself with expressions such as, I can't do anything, I am not talented, I am ugly in your mental scene, you need to get yourself out of this situation. Number 4, take part in social events as much as you can. Having an active life makes it easier to deal with depression. The more you choose to stay all alone, the more melancholic you will become. Having a healthy social environment will act as a protective shield against depression. Doing the activities you love, also with the people you love, will help you feel better. Having your loved ones around you is a sign of the presence of people who will support you. If you push these people away from you, you will not fight yourself through the most stressful moments. That's why you need to call your friends and chat with them while drinking a coffee. And do not forget to laugh. Number 5, stay away from alcohol and foods that may trigger depression. Alcohol is not good for depression. It leads you to plunge into a much deeper trap. On the contrary, studies show that alcohol consumption can cause depression and anxiety. Most of the mistakes made now are to get rid of depression by combining alcohol and antidepressants. None of the medications should be consumed with alcohol. Alcohol numbs your nervous system and creates damage. Antidepressants follow the same nerve pathways, just like alcohol does. If you mix these two, they will harm your body. Since your central nervous system is going to be more affected, you're going to be aggressive and uncontrollable. You should take the antidepressant under the supervision of a doctor and avoid consuming alcohol while using medication. Another nutrition you should avoid is caffeine. Caffeine triggers depression, just like alcohol. Complications like anxiety, restlessness, and high blood pressure are caused by the heavy use of caffeine. Caffeine can increase the vulnerability of people with mood disorders to depression. Foods high in carbohydrates and sugar can also trigger depression. Professional dietitians argue that dealing with depression is focused on eating fruits and vegetables, consuming a lot of grains, reducing salt levels, using light and balanced oils such as olive oil in food, not consuming too much red meat, and increasing white meat intake. Number 6. Get joyful hobbies. Depression feeds on feeling down. If you continue to feed this feeling, you cannot enjoy anything. You've got to do stuff that you love to get out of this misery, but you have to do it gradually. Do you enjoy watching comedy movies? Then watch it and enjoy it. Don't let anyone interrupt or upset you. Include your friends in these joyful activities. Note that mood changes you observe in yourself. In this way, you can differentiate things that are good for your mood and then do them more often. Now it's time for tip number 7. Number 7, pay attention to your sleep cycle. We need sleep not only for preventing depression, but also for a healthy body. If you don't get enough sleep, your ability to think decreases. You can't eliminate depression in an atmosphere where dark feelings are lurking in your head. We mentioned that feeling tired and weak is among the symptoms of depression. You cannot relieve this fatigue by sleeping too much. Excessive sleep is a symptom of depression. To keep your sleep routine on track, make a pattern that you should adopt regardless of the circumstances. It will not be easy to keep your sleep cycle on track. You should not eat just before you go to bed, and you should avoid annoying things such as phones from disrupting your sleep. The most beneficial thing before going to bed is reading a book. In this way, before you go to bed, your mind will be quiet, and the feelings that will make you tired will fly away. Number 8, get professional help. It's very hard to get rid of depression by applying just these suggestions, and sometimes it is unlikely depending on the severity of the depression. That's why, besides applying these things, you must get the help of a professional psychologist to combat depression. The therapy sessions are crucial, so you can both keep your mind under control and be someone who can help you. You should also apply medication if needed under the supervision of a doctor. From the first day you've been diagnosed with depression, you need to start therapy appointments and follow what your doctor or psychologist suggests. Depression can lead to self-harm and even suicidal thoughts if you don't intervene at the correct time. You must accept that, if necessary, you need professional help in coping with depression. Depression is not a mood swing that you can expect to disappear. Following your treatment and applying the recommendations listed in this video would be very helpful in coping with depression. While these suggestions are difficult to apply in actual life, try to follow them with a commitment. Having feedback from the right sources in the treatment of depression is almost as critical as applying the right treatment. After you learn to know both yourself and your depression level, it's going to be better for you to cope with it. Remember, the quicker you act, the earlier you get rid of it. Never forget that depression is a curable disease, and never give up hope. Please comment, do you have personal experience of depression? Thanks for watching Social Town. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe and bell buttons and share it with your friends. This will encourage us to create new videos for you.